Hey everyone out there, this is Brian from Massey's Main Entertainment, and we're back again with our ongoing series of building that perfect album. We've been going through the years, started at 1965, we're all the way up now to 1971. 1971 was another year in which we felt deserved a double album standard, and that was chosen, I believe, by Doc, because Doc's going to be leading off for us tonight.
Yep.
So I am joined by Doc. Doc, say hi to everybody.
Hey,
And my buddy Rich Strickler, he's got his own channel. I'll be putting a link down below to that. Just a little quick review. We're building a perfect album. So this year, since it's a double album, we'll be picking 24 songs. So we'll have a volume 1 going first in this video, and then we'll have a second video with the additional 12 songs. So what we're allowed to do, we're allowed to pick 2 songs from a particular album because this is a double album. We can pick singles that were released only as singles, as long as it's in that particular year that it charted. And you can pick album cuts as long as it was on the album in that particular year that the album was released. So if for some reason an artist had 2 albums in the same year, which is not unheard of during this time, you can run into that. You're allowed to pick 2 additional songs from that album if you want. We've been pretty good about kind of spreading the love around a little bit, so that hasn't been much of a thought so far. So tonight, like I said, Doc, you're going to be running lead off. Rich is going to bat second, and then I get to do cleanup, which is kind of cool because usually you guys will tell them all the information, and then if we have the same songs, I don't have to say very much at all. I can say, yeah, I got that song, I got that song, I got that song. So let's jump right in. Doc, you got the lead off, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah, this will be a good one, man. You're right, Brian. It's 1971. This is our 3rd year in a row of doing a double album, right? So this is this is tough. This is really tough to do. You almost can't go wrong. There could be a lot of 2 songs from one album. I mean, one of my favorite albums is from this era, this year anyway. So I do not have 8 songs from the Who's next on here. So I'll start off with that right now. So
come on.
No, but I do.
You guys got me covered, I'm sure. Yeah. So, but we'll jump in. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to go rock soft kind of thing, or rock soft medley mix of things, and then soft or something along those lines. But this is how it's going to play out for me in 71. We're going to start off, man. We're going right to Black Dog, man. Zeppelin starting off. So,
ooh, yeah.
Let's get into it, man. It's Zeppelin, 71. This is off, 4. Just a monster album. Lots of songs on this album can make an appearance throughout these 24 picks that we're going to come across between the 3 of us. So I think it's a great way to start this album, great way to start the year in 71 with Black Dog, man, a classic Zeppelin tune. So you hear that, hey, mama, man, you're in. So that's the way it goes. So going to follow that up with another one that 2 years in a row. So I'm going back to Black Sabbath, man. I'm going Sweet Leaf. That's my second one here.
Ooh. Okay.
Heavy hitters, man.
Yeah, that's you're going Zeppelin into Sabbath and stuff. It's a pretty heavy side start. It'll go a different way as we go along. And you hear Ozzy starting to, all right, now you're into great riff in this tune, great rock and heavier kind of songs from Sabbath, and just something that's always appealed to me. And I like early Sabbath, man, a lot. So going to follow that up with I'm going to the Stones, man. I'm going to Brown Sugar, and it's just going to switch up the vibe a little on this side for me. So, and that's the way this will unfold, I think. So it's a classic Stones album too, man. Sticky. So can't go wrong with the Stones from the 60s. You can't go wrong in the 70s here either for a while. So Brown Sugar, man, this album's fantastic. So an easy pick for me to put in my 24. Number 4, Brian, you did not see this coming, brother. I know you don't. So it's Under My Wheels, man, by Alice Cooper. So
I already had the album cover downloaded.
I'm sure you did, brother. I'm sure you did. I'm glad you did. This is one that I've always liked ever since I was a kid. So my first time hearing this song was off the Greatest Hits album. That's when I first remember it at a young age, and it's a great tune, man. Just that telephone is ringing as soon as you get to that part, man, and I hear it. I like a lot of Cooper, man, and for a lot of time, especially in the '70s, man, fantastic. I think so. Maybe overlooked in some senses, but I think if anyone gave Cooper a run that you're not really into it, I think you'll find he's a little bit better than what you actually think he might be. So,
Yep.
Number 5, I'm going Lady in Black with Uriah Heep as my number 5.
Nice.
Right,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, and this is, Uriah Heep's got a different sound and kind of like an overlooked band from this era too. Lady in Black is a fantastic tune, man. It's not like heavy or anything like that, but I mean, when it drops, the bass line comes in, and you've already done a couple of verses before the storytelling inside this song is fantastic. It's smooth. It's a real easy listen, man. It's not as heavy as what people think Uriah Heep is when you start getting into it and stuff. And it's, like I said, kind of an overlooked band in a lot of senses, but they got some really good tunes, man. I'm going to end this side rocking it out with the greatest scream in the history of rock and roll with Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. I think it's a pretty rockin' side album, man. The Who's Won't Get Fooled Again is kind of, at one time it was my favorite song in my life. So it's,
Wow.
yeah, it's, The Who's got a special spot for me, man. And it's, this is a classic to end this side. That's my take.
Cool, man.
There you go, guys.
Not very many surprises there.
Not as far as
to be
the bands. I mean, maybe the songs. Like I knew you'd have Alice Cooper somewhere, and Uriah Heep kind of threw me for a loop, but it fits, so it works.
Yeah, I have Brown Sugar also, and I've got it. It's funny, we'll get into it, but I've got it in the same exact spot. So, cool. Yeah, I mean, but seriously, I mean, I knew. I was like, I went out and pulled down that Alice cover right away. And I mean, of course, I mean, the first album I got a cover for was I Got Who's Next, because I figured all three of us are definitely going to have songs from that on there. There's no way that we're skipping that album, any of us.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
I had 2 of the 6 so far. I'm not going to say what they are. I'll let you know when I get them. But I have 2 of the 6.
We can see how we do on side B if you want. We can jump right in and see what you guys think.
I like it. Let's do it.
I'm going to try to get this out of my way, but I just love this song so much. So I am starting my side B. And like I said, it's heavier and softer, and then collage and stuff. So but this is like just a different vibe for this side of the album. And I kind of like doing my albums that way as I figure this out as I go. So, but I'm going back to the Stones again, and it's Wild Horses to start my side. So,
okay. Yeah.
It's another classic Stones tune, man. And it's, the Angies and Wild Horses and stuff like that. They can bring a lot of different things. A lot of bands can, but I think the Stones does it very well, obviously. And this is another classic tune in their catalog. And it's going to start my side B. I'm going to follow that up with Stay With Me by the Faces.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it flows nicely as we go here. So I think that's a good follow-up to Wild Horses going in to Stay With Me. Rod, he's obviously distinctive voice and everything else that he's got, but early, fantastic stuff, man. This guy they were rocking pretty good, man. So like the sound of the Faces, like the sound of Rod even at this time. So I'm going to follow that one up with Badfinger, man. Day After Day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably my favorite Badfinger tune as a guess. I like a lot of them actually. So, but sad story to the band. But again, you don't know where it goes and stuff. It's a great tune, man. Got a lot of different vibes to it, almost Beatlesque at times, and hints of McCartney kind of feeling as you can hear it. But they have their own sound too. So, Day After Day is a classic song. That's 71 too, in my eyes. Told you I like Rod's sound, man. So it's Maggie May to follow that up.
Yep.
Good pick.
Thanks. It's what can you say about Maggie May, man? I love the song I love the song anyway, but I found out after the fact that one time this was actually my dad's favorite song too. So go figure that one time.
Never shared that with you. I mean, early on, no.
No, I was already into it or whatever later on in life, and then whatever comes on, and then it's like my dad made a comment that one time this was his favorite song too. He likes Elvis, and this one he liked too. So just a great tune, man. Maggie May is a classic song. So I'm gonna follow that up with "Fearless" by Pink Floyd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it fits the side perfect. To be honest with you, there's different sound. I mean, nobody sounds like Floyd. Really. I mean, nobody sounds like anybody in certain and stuff like this. But nobody really does sound like Floyd.
No.
And if you're to say, okay, there's this song and there's this song, but there's lots of elements inside "Fearless" that sound like Floyd. And if you were to say, what does Floyd sound like? You could play this song and say, that's what Floyd sounds like, or something along those lines, where it hits on a lot of parts. So first time I even heard it wasn't even off the Metal. It was off of Works album. That's the first time I even heard it. So great tune, man. The soccer singing stands in the background and stuff like that. But I just love the tune, man. The ebb and flow inside that song, and it's Climbing the Mountain, man. That's a great tune. Just a great tune. I'm going to end this side with my favorite song from this artist. So be it as it is, whatever it is, it's my favorite. It is "Life on Mars" by Bowie. To end this side. So
Wow.
I can't say enough good things about this tune, man. It's the piano, the storytelling, and everything else. And Bowie's a talent, man. And I think it comes shining through on this tune. And I just love this song. There's lots of Bowie I love. But this one's just kind of at the top for me right now in my life, and it has been for a while. So I'm ending it with that tune.
Wow. I mean, that definitely, like, that spent the first side. Yeah, it felt like you for sure. But then it got really more defined, because these are the spaces where, you're not as obvious, where we get to see little parts of Doc's taste in music that aren't necessarily like everybody's, choices of music and stuff. So the Floyd pick, that's a really deep cut, in my opinion. I mean, I've listened to Metal a couple times, but that's a deeper cut, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked a song from Metal too, but I'm not going to share it now, but
Yeah.
that was kind of interesting that you picked "Fearless." That was really cool.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're right. "Fearless" is more like a song that, like a big Floyd fan would know what that song is or something, but a casual or passing fan, maybe I know it, maybe I don't. And if you're not a passing, or if you're just an observing fan, you're not going to know that tune unless you know the album. So
Right.
Yeah, it's a good one. Out of your 12 so far, I have 4, and another one is an honorable mention. So even though we differ as far as heavy and different styles of music, we have some common ground there as well. So excellent job. I like your album.
Yeah, I liked it.
Thanks,
strong,
guys.
real strong.
Cool.
So should I dive in?
All right. Yeah, I guess so. We got
Go for it, brother.
Here
What
we
do you
go.
got, Rich?
I'm ready to reveal. I'm kicking it off with probably my favorite Who song, "Baba O'Reilly," right out of the chute. Opening track. It was the opening track off Who's Next, and it's going to be the opening track for my 1971. Daltrey with the incredible lead vocals, Teenage Wasteland, great guitar riff. The whole band's operating at full capacity here. Entwistle, Moon, banging out the instrument. I mean, just top-notch stuff. I mean, this is the Who at their peak. You can take Tommy, you can take Quadrophenia. I'm taking Who's Next every single time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To me, I wanted to lead off with a bang, and to me, this is the best Who song on the best rock album of the 70s. I'll stand by that. Next up, a little different twist for me, but I've always loved this song. "I'd Love to Change the World" by 10 Years After. Hard rocking classic from the album A Space and Time. It's got that hippie vibe. Tax the rich, feed the poor, tax them until there are no rich no more. And it's just a timeless song. Great guitar solo in here by Alvin Lee, who was their lead player and singer. So 10 Years After is my follow-up song. Then I'm going to kick it off with a little Jethro Tull, "Locomotive Breath" from Aqualung. I love this song. Got that piano intro.
Cool.
Just, it sort of lulls you a little bit with the beautiful piano. Then you got the killer riff, dun, 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 all that stuff. Then the flute solo in the middle by Ian Anderson, flat out masterpiece. I'm not a huge prog rock guy, but this one kicks ass. I love this song. Fantastic. Then I'm going to slow it down a bit for my fourth song. Elton John, Tiny Dancer, another piano song. Madman Across the Water, a great album. The whole Blue Jean Baby, LA Lady, seamstress for the band. It was made doubly famous in the Almost Famous movie, We're on the Bus, and camaraderie where they're all singing together and bringing everybody back into the unit again. And it's a great sing-along song. Elton, of course, huge back in 71. So he had to be represented, and that's the song I picked. Then we've got my fifth song, a little bit more prog, which is unexpected for me, but it's Roundabout by Yes from the Fragile album. Huge song, another one of their signature songs, really a masterwork when you listen to the instrumentation on this record. John Anderson with that great voice, and the guitar playing, the bass playing all the way down. Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, fantastic, and Bill Bruford on drums. I love everything about it. It's always been at the top of my Yes favorites. And then I'm going to close out my side one with another legendary, iconic song, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Maybe the most famous individual song in the history of classic rock. I know it's overplayed. I know people get sick of it. I don't. To me, it's an undeniable classic. It's on the Mount Rushmore of all-time rock songs for me. Easy. Stairway to Heaven. That's the end of my side one.
That would be hard to argue for sure. I think how you deal with a song like that, as I only go back to that song maybe once every year and a half in your life, and then then you really appreciate it again each time you hear it. You're not just because you remember how it is when you're a teenager. There's guys are just banging it out in their cars 15 times in a row, and that's what happens to you when you're younger. But as you get older, you understand that how great that song actually is on many different levels, right? I mean, it's just crafted so well, and the crescendo of that song is just masterpiece.
Top notch, man.
It builds.
Yeah.
So I had to put it on there. So that's my side.
I like that side a lot, Rich.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
All right. That's all you got to say.
I had two. Yeah, I had two of them. Yep, on that side.
Yeah.
And
we know we have a whole full album coming after this.
Yeah, we have no other album coming. So
you got two sides to do, bro. Two albums to do, Brian, because you're going third. But there's a lot of room to play with here. As far as side two, a little bit different. Not as much heavy bangers, but still some representative songs from 1971, in my opinion. We're going to kick it off with American Pie, Don McLean. I love this song.
Okay.
This is Day the Music Died, when Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and Big Bopper went down in the plane. Don McLean is a kid back then, delivering newspapers, bad news on the doorstep, couldn't take one more step. He's writing about basically that day, and then from there on, the history of rock music up until 1971. He's using all kinds of little symbolisms and for the different stars of the era, the Byrds from the Fallout Shelter and 8 Miles High and Falling Fast, and all these different lyrics that tie together, the jester who might be, Dylan, and then you got the devil with Jagger and all these different things woven into the song. It's a beautiful song as far as written. My Chevy and the Levee and drinking whiskey and rye, singing "This'll Be the Day That I Die." I mean, the lyrics are fantastic on that song. So that's leading off side two. Then I'm going to go into a little George Harrison from All Things Must Pass. I know it came out in 1970, but this single was released in February of 71. What is Life? Went to number 10 on the charts, kind of an uplifting love song. Eric Clapton appears on this album as well, on this song, as do most of Derek and the Dominoes. They're kind of a backing band for George on this album. It's just a simple, that little opening with yeah, it kind of pulls you in. What is my life without your love? Tell me, who am I without you? And repeats that over and over again. But I've always liked that song. We're going to go from George to John Lennon with Imagine. Slow it down again. Another iconic song. John Lennon's Imagine has to be on my album. A call for world peace, kind of a universal theme that everybody can get behind. Imagine no war, and imagine this, and everybody getting together. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. One of the great John Lennon songs. Then I'm going to have 3 straight that Doc had on his album. Ooh. We're going to kick it off. Yep. Number 4 here is Brown Sugar, the opening track of Sticky Fingers. This has long been one of my favorite Stone songs. You got that double guitar whammy action of Keith Richards and Mick Taylor just tearing it up. I know their lyrics are a little provocative now, and they've kind of been taken out of their concerts and stuff like that because of slavery and interracial sex and drug use and oral. So it's got all kinds of connotations in it. But
right.
You listen to this song, man, and it rocks. Brown Sugar. Mm-hmm. And it epitomizes the bad boy image that the Stones had. They're not care about pissing people off. That's what they want to do. They just want to go out and rock their ass off. And that's what they do on this song. Next up is Maggie May Rod Stewart. Classic song. Autobiographical in nature, about a young teenager in a sexual relationship with an older woman. And that line, the morning sun when it's in your face really shows your age. Originally, I didn't know this till I did a little research, but I didn't know it was originally released as the B-side to Reason to Believe.
That's true.
But disc jockeys were playing this song, and they got such a big response out of Maggie May, it became the hit. Number 1 hit, in fact. And there's a mandolin on here that's a little mandolin solo in the middle that's fantastic. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
It's awesome. And then I'm going to end side 2 here with another one of these Who bangers. Won't Get Fooled Again, Doc's favorite, from Who's Next. So I open up with a Who song in Baba O'Reilly, just like Who's Next, and I close it with Won't Get Fooled Again, just like Who's Next. That's the way they did that album. A rock anthem, anti-establishment, fighting in the streets, kind of a more aggressive stance than the peace and love stuff. They're out there taking back what they want. And that legendary scream, Doc mentioned it, and I'll bring that up again. It's iconic. I mean, just that. Nobody can do it like Daltrey.
Oh, Rodri.
That'll end my second side.
That's really great. I mean, we've already got a trifecta on 2 songs, and I haven't even spoken yet.
Right.
And so
Doc and I each have a whole album. You got 2 albums, so
I got 2 albums to go, and I know we're gonna hit on a lot more too, for sure. So at least a couple ones you guys have already mentioned as well. But so this side very much like Rich, because Rich I know is a very much of a lyric guy. So American Pie, maybe one of those songs where no matter if you don't know the lyrics, you can at least sing the chorus, right? Everybody can sing the chorus. I mean, it's like, you people sitting next to you in a car, they don't sing along until the chorus comes on, then they start singing with you, right? So it's one of those songs. It's great.
I'm not a drinker. I'm not a drinker, but I would dip into the whiskey and rye just to sing that song. It's one of them songs that you can get into, man. It's cool.
Absolutely. What'd you
think, great
Doc?
too. Obviously, your album, I think, is. Hey, I'm not going to say anything bad about this album, man. This album, friggin'.
71
3 in a row with mine. So how do you think we're going to do it? Yeah, it's fantastic, man. It's loaded. You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Brian, you're up, man. Batting in the
Brian, this is it, brother.
All right. So Rich and I are going to have the same lead off tune. So for my first song, I have Baba O'Reilly kicking it off. I really wasn't, it's funny. 2 years ago, guys, I wasn't much of a Who fan, right? And then I really wasn't even much of a concept album fan by The Who. But then I really got into Keith Moon. And so like Baba O'Reilly is just this absolute banger of a song. I mean, the drums on that are just incredible.
Oh my God.
I'm such a big fan of Moon now. I went from like not liking the Who to having Moon in like my top 4 drummers of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, that's just how much it's grown on me. Teenage, like you said, Teenage Wasteland. I think people, that was a misnomer. Everybody thought that was actually the title of the song for the longest time. If you looked it up, like people try to download the MP3s, it wouldn't be titled Baba O'Reilly. It'd be titled Teenage Wasteland.
Teenage Wasteland. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's leading off my album. Number 2 for me is going to be the leadoff song from The Doors, "L.A. Woman." It's my favorite song off of "L.A. Woman." It's "The Changeling." Kind of like this really psychedelic, keys going on, and it's got this funky blues thing with Morrison and stuff. Just a great song. It's like Uptown, Downtown. Yeah, I mean, Morrison's just going off on, and it's actually his favorite song on the album. He actually said that. He said,
really?
He said, let's be ready to go. He said, because this is my favorite track on the album. So The Changeling is my number 2 song. My number 3 song, you guys both have it. It's our trifecta song. I've got it in the same spot as Doc. I've got Brown Sugar by the Stones. Really, it's like that. It's like that almost pure rock song by them. Some of the earlier stuff in the 60s felt very blues rock to me, but I still liked it. But this one is like pure rock by the Stones. It just felt, like it had severed ties a lot with a lot of that blues stuff. And now they're playing rock and roll music, which I really enjoyed. So I put it at the number 3 spot. Number 4 spot, I've got Harry Nilsson. I got "Jump in the Fire," the infamous helicopter scene from Goodfellas. It's an iconic scene in the movie. You start going like this and looking
paranoia,
all paranoia and stuff. But what a great song. I mean, it's got that little howling in the middle of hey. People hear that and they go, what is the name of that song? They don't even know the name of the song, because it's got such a catchy little thing there. So number 5 for me, I've got "Tiny Dancer," which is, probably from my favorite album. Not my favorite song is "Someone Saved My Life Tonight" by Elton, but my favorite album is "Madman Across the Water." "Tiny Dancer," I had to take that from there. Such an iconic song. Rich has already mentioned that it was played on Almost Famous, and that kind of re-energized that song again. You kind of see it pop up on a few more charts again after that movie came out. Great. Elton has to be represented. Any year that he has an album out, you need to be looking for the stuff that he puts out. Closing off my first side, I've got a deep cut. It's from one of my favorite albums from this year, is "Just As I Am" by Bill Withers. I've got it's "Hope She'll Be Happier." If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it is a hugely heartbreaking song about a guy basically saying that he knows that he's lost his girl, lost his girls, he's messed up, but he can only hope that she'll go forward in life and be happier with whoever she's with and whatever she's doing. And he's just letting go of all of that was in his relationship. And if you read some of the stuff about Bill, basically making this album while he was still working like a blue collar job, but while he was making this album, and you just understand. There's a great note in there that lasts about 15 seconds if you listen to the song. I don't know how Bill carried that note for that long, but
incredible.
He's got a tremendous voice. He's one of the R&B guys that I truly loved during the 70s. That's side 1.
Fantastic.
I love it. I knew you'd have Bill Withers because from our past conversations, I know you think highly of that album. So I didn't know which one, but I knew you'd have him somewhere in this year. Glad you had Brown Sugar. Glad you had Tiny Dancer. Awesome. And Baba O'Reilly. Wow.
Yeah, I really like this side. Yeah, this one. I looked at that.
For sure.
I made this side. I'm going, how am I going to top this side? I thought about spreading the love a little bit. I said, no, I'm leaving it alone.
I'm gonna load up, man.
Go big or go home, right?
Sure.
Exactly.
Big time.
But anyway, for side 2, I kind of went with a little bit of more of a soulful rhythm and blues, funky type of thing. So I started off with "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye. Very politically conscious, album. I know that he really had to fight with Motown Records to be able to make this record. They didn't want to, and particularly they didn't even want to release this song, and he fought tooth and nail to get them to release this song. and they did, and then and that song took off, and the album took off, and the rest is history. It's a great. The whole album is really it's a concept album. You really have to listen to it all in its entirety. But this is a great track, and I wanted to lead off my R&B side with it. So. The number 2 track for me is going to be Al Green's "Tired of Being Alone" from Al Green is Next to You. I could have picked a lot of songs from this album, and I've listened to it like 3 other albums by Al Green, and he's just got so many great songs. You could pick a lot of stuff from him. But this was a big hit for him. I think it went to number 11 on the Billboard chart. It was covered also by the Scottish band Texas. 1992. I can remember when I was managing a station, hearing this cover of it. Very close. They didn't deviate very much from it. Very close, and they did an excellent job as well. I love Al's voice. Al's just a soulful genius. Even though this band's a rock band, I feel like this song is kind of it feels a little bluesy and folky to me. So I've got "Going to California" by Led Zeppelin as the third track on this side.
Great.
Definitely you think that a song like this, I guess maybe if you heard this song and not Led Zeppelin 4 in its entirety, you would have never thought it would have been able to work on Led Zeppelin 4, but it does. I think it's because of the song sequencing. Whoever sequenced the songs that person needs a medal, because you put it in the wrong spot, and this song probably wouldn't have worked. Especially, I think if they put it on side 1, probably wouldn't have worked at all. With everything that was on side 1. So Good for them on the sequencing. I thought it was a good song. Number 4 is a kind of a deep cut from Mudslide Slim by James Taylor. This was Machine Gun Kelly.
No way.
A little bit of a slower, folky, bluesy tune by Jim. Basically talking about telling Machine Gun Kelly, warning him not to let a woman, drag him down, and put him in the ground by loving her in the wrong situations, that she's going to burn you. She's going to take advantage of you. Good track. I know my wife's going to say, "Yay, James Taylor," but I don't even think she knows this song very well. This one here, I'm going to put the song here because I really like the song. I'm not sure how high I am on her version of it, though, because I've recently listened to Chris Christopherson's album, Me and Bobby McGee. And I got Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin. It is a good version, and it's probably the most well-known version.
Yeah.
I'm really on the fence of whether or not I like her version or Christopherson's better. But the song definitely, just how well it's written, deserves to be on this list, and I wanted to represent it here. And Pearl, maybe a little bit of an overrated album in my opinion, because some of the stuff was posthumous that's on the album. And some of its instrumentals she wasn't even associated with. So, and closing it out for me is something that's truly soulful and funkadelic, is by Funkadelic. It's Maggot Brain. It's like a 10-minute song. Basically, they told the guitar player that came in, they say, "Hey, listen, just pretend like your mom just died and you're playing this guitar at her funeral. And I want you to play like that. And if you listen to the guitar work on this song, it is fantastic. I mean, there's very little words on it. There's a couple quotes at the beginning and some words at the end, but it's all just a wonderful, soulful guitar solo for about 8 minutes of the song. And an iconic album, iconic song, in my opinion. So I had to put something that represented me a little bit here, Maggot Brain. So.
Very good.
Very cool.
I've got 2 of the 6 on that side as well. So
I didn't mark it down. What was your James Taylor?
I had Machine Gun Kelly.
Would you go figure? I was listening to that this afternoon to find out if I was going to put it on my album.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, it's 71, Brian. There's loads of tunes out here, man.
I know. I mean, I think I sent you a message. Did you get a message? I sent you a message that I had listened to Alex Cooper's Schools Out, because I wanted to be sure. And I like some of the glam rock tunes on there, but they didn't make my cut. I mean, I wrote down a couple of the glam rock tunes on there, not Schools Out, as a matter of fact, but a couple of other songs that deeper.
Couple others.
Yeah. But I wanted to listen to it to be fair, and know for sure.
I'm glad you had
traveling. I missed the text on that one there, Brian. Traveling. Sorry, brother.
I'm glad you have what's going on, because it'll be kicking off one of my sides coming up. Just to
Nice. So,
Yeah, I don't want to say too much here and
I
stuff
don't
like that,
wanna
but
say
when we finish our second albums, I think we're going to find out where we actually all sit in the,
I'm
what comes out in the
interested.
wash here. But I mean, there's,
Yeah. I mean, I want to know how many trifectas we're going to end up with. What do we have so far? Have you kept track?
we have 2 so far. We have
brown sugar.
a bunch of them that we have 2 on. We have
Okay.
Brown Sugar and Maggie May.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll know more as we go, though.
As we go, I think
definitely-
we'll know more.
And we can't give away our honorable mentions till we're finished.
So,
it.
yeah.
we're all done.
Yeah.
So this will be a
And
short.
that could take a third video.
right.
Yeah, that could. This particular year for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a monster.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for video number 1 of our Build to Perfect album from 1971. This is just part 1. We got part 2 that will be following up with this one. So look for the 12 tracks from that one coming up very soon. As always, thank you everyone for watching. Please like or subscribe and comment down below. Give us your top songs of that particular year. And thanks again, Rich, for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you, Doc, for joining me. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you. Hey, we'll see everybody on the next video. You guys take care out there. All right.
All right. See you on the next one. Later.